Welcome to Husky Stadium at St. Cloud State University. It's the State Class AA Boys Soccer Tournament. The Mounds Mustangs taking on the top seed, the Wayzata Trojans. Hello again, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Sig Lagery. And Sig, these teams met at the beginning of the year. Strange result for two teams that are in the state tournament. Wayzata won that one 8-0, but both coaches have been telling their teams all week, forget about that one. It's a whole new season. Mounds Youth playing great soccer down the stretch.
That's what they were saying the last few weeks. They've been playing really well. They're not concerned about what happened the first time around. Wayzata, as we know, has had a fantastic season, and they also have been peaking at the last few weeks. So you're right, the previous game doesn't count anymore. It's from different sections, but we're in the state quarterfinal, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Mounds View coming out of the Section 5 tournament as a low seed for the second straight year, really. Just a game over 500. They had 8 new starters, but have won 7 of their last 9 and have a pretty good formula for turning it around at the end of the season these last couple of years. And meanwhile, for the Trojans, winning that Section 6 tournament, they pulled away to put St. Louis Park away in their championship. They've been strong all year, and they were in the state championship game a year ago. Not a surprise for them to be here, but now the pressure may be on a little bit as the number 1 seed.
Absolutely. Last year they were number 2 seed, but they carried it all the way through to the championship game that we covered. That was very exciting. So they don't have as much pressure on them as before because they've been there. They all feel it. They all know it. They're not that concerned about it. Mounds View's going to be maybe a little bit tentative. They got the advantage of revenge factor because they lost. They want to come back and give a good showing in the state tournament.
Let's talk about key players to look at into this evening's contest, starting with Mounds View. And Till Kontak's a guy who's had a great season for them, an all-state caliber player. He gave the Trojans a little bit of trouble the first time around. They're definitely going to have to keep an eye on him.
Absolutely. He's a midfielder, senior. He's got 9 goals and 11 assists, so that tells you that he's not only good at scoring, but he's also very adept at finding people who are open and getting the ball to them for the score.
For the Trojans, we're going to talk about a guy that maybe isn't the first guy that opponents think of, or maybe even the second, but Ethan Wagner's been real hot in the playoffs. He had the only goal in the section semifinal against Southwest, added a couple more against St. Louis Park. He's quietly put together a real nice year.
Yeah, it may be quiet because they may not be focusing on it, but they better. He's got 17 goals and 3 assists, so you better have your eye open on this guy and have somebody marking him up close. Because as we've seen him play, he's very good at getting out on the outside and making some trouble for you.
The winner goes on to U.S. Bank Stadium for the semifinals coming up on Monday. It's State AA Boys Soccer as Mounds View meets Wayzata next here on CCX Sports.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
They were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Beautiful evening for soccer. It was much cooler and windier for the teams that played on Tuesday night in Class A. This is about as good as you can get for the last outdoor games for these teams, Sig. It's, I think, temperatures in probably the low to mid 50s, and just a beautiful fall evening.
Yeah, the 2 best parts are that it's not windy and it's not wet. And we were talking about the conditions last time we were here before. It was so windy that the scorer's table across the way actually blew off its feet and rolled across the field. But today's dry. It's a little bit of sunshine about to go over the side here, but it's a very nice day.
Mounds View making its 15th state tournament appearance. Wayzata its 14th. So a great share of the tournaments in the past have had one of these 2 teams in it. Jason Min, we just saw, the keeper for Mounds View, and we are underway. Wayzata and White and Mounds View in green, and again 8-0 was the result way back in late August when these teams played, with Wayzata winning. And you know, we talked to Coach Duenas from Wayzata briefly. He said, you know, did you remind the guys that that was then, this is now? He said, we tried telling them all week, but they are high school kids. You know, they're hoping that they just come in real focused and take care of business no matter who the opponent. I mean, I think it's a safe bet it's not going to be 8-0 again, but
right.
but whether, you know, they can play their game. And, you know, Wayzata, I think they feel confident in their talent level and their experience level, but you still have to come in and get it done on the field. There are other very good teams in this field, including Mounds View. You'd have to put in that category, even with the record they have.
Yeah, they have some good players, and they've had a good last 6-7 games going into the sections and coming in today. So they are obviously no slouch. Takeaway by the Trojans.
Banged up field there, knocked down by Adi Bhatti for Wayzata. Now Drew Gallinson playing it to the outside and able to connect there, but it's knocked away from Wagner. It'll be a throw for the Trojans. Gallinson coming up to take this throw, an all-Metro pick. The Star Tribune, Gallinson.
Seen him before. He has a nice throw in, very accurate. Comes a shot from the side.
Sane putting it across for Patrick Weah. The header high into the middle. Still dangerous here. Mustangs trying to fight it off, and they do so. Now out to Till Konzak, and they'll look to play the ball up their left side. Got it ahead to Elijah Paulin. 1 against 4 for the moment. Jabbed away, but then some follow-up help forthcoming here from Daniel Zamo. Knocked away from Paulin by Gallinson as they bang it long. And no call forthcoming as Sadra Galzarian got physical there. Here comes Walter Smith. Trying to go to Patrick Weah there, but Matthew Farmer, the interception for Mounds View. Then Ostapek a step up. Mustangs keep it in up the line, but intercepted there by the Trojans. Now Konzak possessing. Weah comes back, breaks that up. Ostapek looking back to Weah. And then banged ahead by Danny Kelly. Stuart Sane gaining control here for the Trojans. Plays to Weah. Very dangerous attacker for the Trojans. Now looking to Sane. Sane cutting it back to the middle. Draws a couple of defenders and then gets the ball ahead. Galzarian putting a cross out with the left foot. Oh, and it's knocked away. Follow-up chance for Smith, and he hits the outside of the goal post. Corner kick upcoming as it was deflected. Great opportunity here for Wayzata. The diving play there by Min, and then the follow-up just glances off the goal post, then a defender. So Min just got his left hand on that first pass there, the crossing pass, and then Williams will line it up for the corner here for the Trojans as they try and put on some early pressure here on the Mustangs.
Flooding the zone, and defense heads it out, and now it's outside the penalty area.
And lofted up and over the top end. So Jason Min getting a test early on there and goal for the Mustangs. He's played 13 of their games. Connor Petrick has played 6 of them. Min with the colorful jersey there, bangs it out to midfield. Trojans quickly get it back though. Now Eric Williams volleying it ahead, trying to go to Wagner. It's headed out of there by Daniel Frink. And we will get a throw. Mustangs had basically a whole new back, defenders when they met the first time around, and you know, they kind of found you know, things a little tough going in that opener, and they've gotten progressively better according to Coach Chris Scanlon. So Galzarian dropping it back to Sane. Sane tripped up as he tried to cut around, and then he gets lifted up by Konzak there, and the official telling Konzak, even though he was trying to be a good sport about it, I think he was telling him that might have went a little too far. You don't need to lift him up like that. And It's very rare that you see somebody scolded for being a little too sportsmanlike, but I can kind of see. I mean, I don't think Sane really liked it the way he was lifted up there. So. Here's Sane stepping over it now, and Williams will chip it, looking for way out. The header, oh, a great save. And then it goes just wide. It will be another corner kick for the Trojans. Oh my, perfect setup there on the free kick. Wea did everything but finish here, as it was very close.
See the header right here. Keeper just picks his arms up and slaps it away.
Yeah, he just fought that one off at that point, as it was right, right on target, but into the middle of the net. Wea obviously, in hindsight, would like to have picked the corner a little more or whatever, but also you got to give Jason Min a lot of credit there, and able to fight that one off and be brave in the middle there and hold on. And Wayzata's threatened a couple times, but nothing on the board yet. Elijah Paulin now carrying it up the left side for the Mustangs. Drops off a nice pass here, but then broken up. Konzak circling back though. They'll switch fields now over to Colin Frink. Crossing that one. Hustling back after it was Limborg, one of their captains. Header the other way by Ostapek, and now Wayzata looks to get going. Wea trying to send it for Galzarian. Wagner is also there, and the Mustangs not going to take chances there. Johnny Sohos just drills it out of play there. So we will get a throw coming up here for the Trojans. We have played about 6.5 minutes so far in this AA quarterfinal game. First game of the AA boys tournament, and no score on the board. Wayzata's had two great chances early though. Playing pretty well early on, confidently attacking here, and have pinned Moundsview in their own end for the most part so far.
Yeah, what was it? Obviously possessing the ball quite a bit more than Moundsview. Moundsview had one trip down past the 50, and that's been it so far.
Nice ball back to Limborg there, but having a little trouble getting it upfield here. Header try there, but Sane intercepted that briefly, but then it's Paulin getting to it for the Mustangs. Playing it up the left side as they get a little opportunity going.
It's a 2, now it's a 3-on-4. And midfielders draw it back for the Trojans.
Sane able to break that one up initially there, and then Limborg gets it for Moundsview. Wea comes up to challenge him. He's not conceding those back passes there, and a header up the line. Galzarian trapping it down to himself and looking for Wea, and the offside flag goes up. It was close. Right idea there, as they had numbers coming forward. They had a couple guys that was going to be interesting had that play stayed onside.
Yep, we've seen so many times when Patrick Wea goes 1-on-2 is pretty much an advantage to him, because he can just go right through them or around them.
We talked about he's got a combination of skill with the ball, speed and strength. Not a lot of guys have all three of those. You might find somebody with two, but he can beat you just by outrunning you. He can be more physical than you, and he also has very good ball skills.
And as you said, he has the strong desire to just run over people.
Galzarian trying to get to that one, and foul call is going to go against Wayzata. As Matthew Farmer kind of holding his ground. Galzarian trying to go up, and he is whistled. Another look at it right here.
Over the back. Good call. It's Alan Harkrider is the center referee for this match.
Galzarian leaving it for Wea now for the Trojans, and he turns on the speed. Now looking to go to Wagner on the left side. Wagner chases it down, shoots, and he just misses. Looking for that far post. Wea did a nice job of getting rid of it when he could. You see Wagner's running out of real estate there, and did what he could to try and tuck it in that far side, and Min just watching it roll by. So another good opportunity there for the Trojans. They have to feel like these are going to start to go sooner or later. It's
right.
Not that many times in a state tournament game where you're seeing that many good chances this early on like that. They've had, I'd say, 3 very quality chances in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, they've had 3 shots, 1 on goal.
Way keeping possession there, swings it out wide to the right. Now they look for Wagner. Wagner stepping to the middle, just run off it though. Nice job by George DeMay, the sophomore, to get back into position there for Mounds View, as it looked like Wagner was going to have room to let that one rip. There's a look at Chris Scanlon, the Mustangs head coach. 6th year with the head coaching title and 17th year in the program. And obviously they've had a lot of good teams over the years, as we said, as they have racked up a lot of appearances in the tournament. Here's Sain's cross. That one knocked out of there by Sohos. But Trojans able to get possession right back. Gallinson lofting one far side. Wagner heading it over and a shot and a goal. Galzarian finishing for the Trojans, and they will take a 1-0 lead. Nice 3-way passing play. And Galzarian will get his 6th goal of the season. It starts with Gallinson lofting it in. Then it's Wagner, and there is Galzarian getting to it. Beautiful goal for the Trojans, and they're able to finish it off. Mounds, you kind of hoping for an offside call there, but not getting it. So Sadra Galzarian, who battled through some injuries earlier, good player for the Trojans, and he gets one there, his 6th of the year.
And that constant pressure and the constant passing was paying off. As you said, Mustangs were just on their heels the last few minutes. And Wayzata just set it up beautifully and made a great play. Here we have a foul called against.
For your Wayzata Trojans. Goal scored by number 7, Sandra Golzarian. With an assist with number 15, Adi Badi. Time of the goal, 10:35 of the first half. That's the Trojans scoring Golzarian from Badi at the 10:35 mark of the first half.
Mustangs controlling it here. Farmer working up the right side. Limborg now controlling.
The score is 1-0, soccer fans.
Trying to set up something here. Battle for it in the corner.
It's an interesting field layout here. Obviously the field, primarily built for the Huskies football team, in that you get down to the corners and really not very visible from any of the stands down, this near sideline.
Yeah, we have to rely on the cameras to see what's going on in the corners.
Wagner putting it out front, way out. Oh, and it's taken right off his foot by Min. Before he could really shoot, he just dove on his foot.
Watch this play right here, getting that center. Boy, you're right there, but Jason Min right in there to take that one away.
From the looks of things early, he's going to be a busy man tonight. Limborg controlling it. Shipping it across, but Body steps in to head that one out of there. Drop back for Sane now by Wagner. He was bumped hard, and Sane comes back real hard and bangs into Konzak there. And the foul call will go against Sane. But I got to tell you right here, I don't think he minds this. He got knocked hard. He said, I'm going to come back just as hard or harder.
You got it. You absolutely got it.
And even though it results in a free kick for Mounds View, I think Stuart Sane, if he had to do it over again, would do exactly the same thing.
I agree. You have to guard your territory. Shot coming in, and Wayzata in its classic 5-man defense on the free kicks.
Knocked down there by Konzak, lofting it out front. For some reason, I don't know if the scoreboard's not working, but they did not put that goal on the board for Wayzata. It was announced as a goal and everything, but Min coming way out and bangs that one out of there. Seems like for a state tournament game, you could get a working scoreboard. And
You would think so.
Maybe not. Foul call here against the Trojans as Ostapek got a little bit of a trip in. So here comes Frink now for Mounds View. Nice ball to the middle here and a chance for the Mustangs. That shot blocked as Konzak teed it up. Boy, a very nice pass, just effortless right on the foot. Weah wins that battle there as he shrugged off DeMay. Weah carrying the ball here for the Trojans. Finds Gulzarian, chipping it right to the front. Wanted to go to Sane. Oh, and then following up was Wagner. Frink really should have just cleared that ball immediately. I don't think he realized there was a second Trojan on the outside of him there as well. It looked like he thought, oh, okay, I'll turn away from this first guy right there. I mean, obviously you don't want to make it a corner kick,
right,
but he almost gave it away, and it turns out to be a corner anyway.
Second corner of the first half for the Trojans. They like to put it in the center. There it goes.
Chipped away.
Into the first half, Wayzata 1
and that shot knocked down. Weah getting control here right at the top of the box, stepping into the middle.
Look at that ball movement.
And then knocked away.
That's on the hit. Mounds View Mustangs had 5 players in the area where Weah was.
Ostapek not able to keep that ball alive, and we will get a throw in. Farmer getting set to take it. Limborg looking ahead there to Paulin. Pass picked off by Botti. And then retaken by Frink here. Mustangs looking to go on the attack. And a trip call there against the Trojans. Been a pretty physical game, and I'm not terribly surprised. Moundsview, I think, has kind of, it's somewhat been their style over the years too, and a mix of skill and grit. And Wayzata, they're a team that likes to play with a lot of skill, but I'll tell you, they've also got some size and some guys who don't mind banging around a little bit. There's a look at Danny Welshons. We haven't really had to talk about him yet so far. He stepped in as a senior and had a nice season for the Trojans, and he will get a chance to boot this one out of there. Sane stepping up there and had his pocket pick. Nice play there to take it from him by Konzak, and now played long up for Paulin. Gallinson there to meet him. Drop back, Mustangs looking to get some space here. Now Limborg stepping to it. He chips it high out front. Kelly is there for the header. And then Gallinson bangs it out. Weah coming back to meet it. Turns and goes here. Weah sending it ahead. The race is on. Wagner getting there. Just couldn't quite control it. And he and the defender both went down there, and looks like Wagner might be a little bit shaken up.
Yeah, they both touched the ball at the same time, and Wagner went back on his back.
Sent in toward Welshons. Wagner hobbling a little bit as he got up. But players near the ball were asking for a foul. At first glance, I thought, I don't think he just foul. Ended up falling. I agree with that. Especially there. I mean, you don't want to give a penalty kick unless you're really sure. And I think I can definitely go with that no call there. Where he got hurt a little bit was the defender actually fell onto the back of his leg. So Smith now volleying it ahead here for the Trojans. Weah chases it down on the left side. Patrick Weah stepping by the defender, gets the cross away, and it was deflected by a Mustang, and they get it right back though. Gulzarian now shooting with the left foot. It's blocked. Some help out front there from DeMay, I believe it was, for the Mustangs. Now Eric Williams controlling. Wayzata putting on the pressure here, leading it 1-0. They have gotten a lot of good chances so far. No rust apparently after having a week off, or a little over a week for both these teams. Section finals were both on Tuesday night of last week. Now here's Wagner. Looks like he's running pretty good again after getting shaken up just a little bit there. And it will be a corner kick coming up as DeMay had no choice there but step in and knock that ball away. So a corner for the Trojans. And now I said Wagner was running better, but he's asking out right now.
He aggravated whatever he injured, and he's going to come out.
Williams will take the corner, and you can see it's just not feeling the greatest for him right now. Nearing the halfway point of the first half, Eric Williams with the corner kick. Allenson getting up, got a piece of it. Now lofted to the front, a nice header to get that ball out of danger by Zamo. And the Mustangs just trying to clear the ball out. Nice follow-up to step in and grab it by Ethan Von Gray, sending it long. Welshon's coming way out, has to play it with the foot, of course. Gonna hit it straight up in the air. There's only one Mustang, though, Elijah Paulin, anywhere near being in position to do anything about it.
Technical issues with the scoreboard. Currently at the 20-minute mark of the first half, it is
So this will be a throw-in for the Mustangs. Trying to get something going here so they can get the equalizer.
Nice moves to the middle here, and now dropped off for Limborg. Limborg chipping it to the front. Gallinson read it well and heads it out of there. And regained, though, by the Mustangs. And here's a high shot that'll sail wide of the mark. They've gotten a little bit, you can see the skill. They've gotten, a couple things clicking, putting a couple passes together, but just not quite enough so far. But still only down one. It could be more, definitely. Min has made a couple good saves. Wayzata's had a couple near misses. They've come out and played very sharp here in this first part of the game. Coach Duane has told us, he let them out of practice early the other day because they were working so hard, which, you like to see that at this time of year. Guys aren't just satisfied to be there. There's a look at Dominic, and he was, talking about how Mounds was definitely a different team than what they saw at the very beginning of the season. And Frink. Pass was a little behind Limborg there, and the Trojans take it. Now Weah trying to get it to the middle there to Smith, but it was knocked away.
Yeah, got away with a reach around.
Mustangs able to win it back here. Now Konzak being pursued by Walter Smith. He will drop it over to Von Gray, and he sending it up the right side. Mishit it a little bit there. Kelly's header toward the sideline, and then Weah trying to keep it in. Couldn't quite do so. A throw here for Mounds View. Farmer. Kelly, a nice step in there for Wayzata. Bounces away, and here's Evan McGugan, who came in when the injury to Wagner occurred. Back pass there and hammered ahead by Daniel Frink. And it will roll out of play. It's going to be a Mounds View throw. Body, I don't think saw the same thing they did. I think it must have been deflected right near the point of the kick. And so a throw for the Mustangs, and Sohos will come up to take it here for Mounds View. Launching it into the middle. Gallinson is there first for Wayzata. Battle in the air here. Mustangs gain control now. Limborg. Smith steps in to knock it free from him. Here comes McGugan looking for Weah left side. Patrick Weah falls down, still keeps possession. That was pretty nice.
That was pretty slick.
And the pass, though, intercepted by Sohos. And it will roll out of play. We get a throw here for Wayzata as a sub coming in. Stuart Sane reporting back in.
Stuart Sane.
Body will take the throw here for the Trojans. And it gets out of play. It'll be a throw now for Mounds View as Daniel Frink will take it here for the Mustangs. Sane went for the steal but didn't get it. And now sent long, and Welsh Hans will scoop it up here for the Trojans. Gonna put it on the ground and boot it out of there. And Limborg lofts it high in the air. Kelly with the header for the Trojans. Now Smith sending it high and deep. McGugan waiting for it to come down. Stumbled a little bit. Now Weah gets to it. Patrick Weah trying to turn the corner here. Gets in tight. Trying to put it out front. It was knocked. He thought it was a handball. But it's play on. Now Walter Smith for Sane. And picked up here by Ethan Fisher, who's checked in. Had it, lost it. Now Gallinson sending it up the right side. Ball stayed in play briefly and then out of play. So a throw here for Wayzata. Sane, by hustling there, made the Mounds View player have to play that ball, and he ended up knocking it out. Drew Gallinson getting set to take the throw in here for the Trojans.
And he is the free throw expert.
Williams. That one deflects off a couple of players, and Min will step out to grab it up here for the Mustangs. Hard to tell if those are, just regular glasses that Min's wearing. It kind of looks like it, but you'd think that'd be a little dangerous for playing keeper.
Right. Well, I'm assuming they're safety glasses, but they are definitely glasses.
Yeah.
They're not goggles.
So Gallinson will take the throw here for Wayzata. Approaching 14 minutes to go in the first half. 1-0 Trojans our score. Mustangs trying to get that ball out of there, but didn't succeed fully. Gallinson heading it back in. Then there was a big collision. The foul call is going to go against Mounds View. Both guys kind of going up in the air there, and Zamo saying, there's the look on his face, wondering how that was on him.
Right, who, me?
And
yeah, a little elbow in the stomach.
I don't know.
It can go either way, I
yeah,
guess.
that was a tough one. I mean, Gallinson was playing the ball, but then again, his momentum was coming into the Mounds View player too, so I guess more often than not, the offensive player probably gets the benefit of the doubt in that situation, but it seemed like it could have went either way, definitely.
Wayzata with an opportunity here with a set play. About 27 yards out. The wall is foreign over the wall.
Oh, and they looked for Gallinson here on this near post, but couldn't quite connect.
Yeah, missed everybody.
This is really the first thing that Coach Duenas mentioned when I said, what's key for you in the state tournament? He said set pieces, definitely.
Yeah.
We think we're pretty good at them, but we left some on the table a little bit in the section tournament that, we felt probably could have put a few more away than we did. But, it's something that he realizes. He's been through it as a head coach and an assistant, knowing that those become vital in the state tournament play especially.
Yeah, absolutely, because in tournament play you don't get that many opportunities.
Colin Frink playing it up the line, and he gets a return. Tried to give it right back there to Paulin, but it was well read by Kelly. Mustangs still gaining possession, though. Here comes Konzak. Nice ball over to the left. And then they swing it around for Colin Frink. Frink dropping that pass off, and now back to Limborg. Chipping it in, and Welshons will come out and has room to get there. Wayzata does a nice job of keeping their shape in the back there.
Yes.
Mounds View's completed some nice passes, but you're not seeing the Wayzata guys get out of position or overcommit.
Right. That's when I look at a team, I look at how the defense plays, and Wayzata is right out of the book. They stay in their position. They move in unison when they counter. It's the perfect defense. There's an opportunity for Wayzata.
Galzarian dropping it back. Oh, and it's fought off there as McGugan put a pretty good hard shot on him. Min making the save. Galzarian, good vision there to realize that his teammate, although he was back a couple of yards, had a better angle and dropped it off to him. The chances have been there. If you're Wayzata, certainly are happy with how you're playing. You probably are thinking we could or maybe should have more than one right now, but that'll happen, and you have to just keep attacking. Galzarian controlling it here. And that pass deflected by the defender Sohos and allows Min to come out and get it. And banked out off of Galzarian. Daniel Frink will get a throw in here for the Mustangs. Williams, a nice job to take that one away. And then sent up, trying to get it there to Benjamin Bader. Follow-up try here will sail up and over the top. So Wayzata's used this opportunity to work in some guys, in this first half, get them some playing time, and obviously, Wagner getting hurt a little bit might have led to that in part two, but they're seeing that they're dominating play, and they're, you're able to work in, get some rest for your guys, and also get some guys who have worked hard for you all year a chance to play in the state tournament too.
Absolutely. This is a great opportunity. They are controlling the match, even though they're only up by one. Take the opportunity to give your starters a little bit of a rest.
Yeah, I think a lot of times there's different schools of thought on that in this sport and others, but I think you're better off if you take them out a little before they're exhausted rather than waiting until they are and then having to make that change. And you want your guys fresh, for the stretch run of the second half.
Absolutely, and like I said, you do it at a time when you're controlling the ball well, and you're not giving up much on defense. But here's an opportunity for the Mustangs. Ooh.
Flick to the outside, Elijah Paulin running it down in that corner. And bangs it off of Ostapek, and then Sane gets to it. Limborg knocking it back into the middle. Konzak being pressured there. Stepping up is DeMay. Nice ball there to Colin Frink. Limborg cutting it to the middle. Gallinson, though, stepped in to break it up, and the race is on, and there's Wagner back out there. Wagner running hard after it up the right side. Min comes way out, and he will pounce on it on the second opportunity. Oh, he was fearless out there, way out of his goal.
I wonder if Wagner even saw the end of that, because here he is full speed. He's chasing the ball. And now he sees Min. Now he tries to get back to get a shot, and Min is right there to cover it up.
I think at that point, you're not really even thinking about the keeper being there yet.
Right.
You're just, kind of looking up where you're going to go with the ball. All of a sudden, there's a flash of red and blue coming at you. Colin Frink's pass is blocked, but it will be a corner kick for the Mustangs as Ostapek denied the attempt out front, but it goes out of play for a corner kick here for the Mustangs. And again, they're just, obviously one goal and one bounce, whatever, from tying this thing up. They've done what they needed to do to hang in, including getting some good goalkeeping. I mean, sure, they're being outplayed, there's no doubt, but it's still a tight contest here. And here's a chance, but it's mishit. Sails wide, and Frink would like to have that one to do again, as it just was creeping up a little higher than he was hoping and couldn't catch it out that quick bounce off the turf. Whale will report back in for the Trojans, and McGugan checks out. We've got about 7.5 minutes to play in the first half, and a 1-0 lead here for Wayzata. Way out to the outside. Here comes Sane.
He's got the numbers with him. If he can get the ball centered, here it is.
He gets it out front for Wagner, but it just got away from him. Jabbed loose a little bit. Walter Smith now following up. And then lofts it up the left side and out of play. We will get a goal kick coming up here for Mounds View. Min has been an active keeper in this first half.
Oh, that was almost dangerous. It almost went right to a
handball call on Way as it bounced up a little bit. Frink dropping it off to Limborg. And then a nice interception by Williams, and then Sane sending it for Weah. Up that left sideline, he's able to keep it in.
Doesn't have a whole lot of help with him. He's got to try to center something, get it
Weah
going.
Puts it out front looking for Galzarian, and
tried to.
I think he was
heel
looking
kick
at, dropping it back to the weak side, and nobody could quite get there or read it quite the same. Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he
tried
thought
to-
he had a teammate there, Gallinson, going to the net, or excuse me, Wagner going to the net. Yeah, nice play by Williams there, passing it to himself, finding Galzarian. And he was nudged, and we will get a foul call here against the Mustangs. So free kick here for Wayzata. Again, it's been a pretty dominant first half for the Trojans. They do have one on the board and several other near misses. Stuart Sane taking this free kick, and
Wow,
not close with that one as he drills it up high.
that one almost made it to Brainerd. I'm not even sure if we can call that a shot.
Min putting his foot to it, coming back to meet it. There was Zamo, but taken by Wagner.
35-minute mark of the first half. Wayzata 1 and Mounds 0.
Play to the front. Oh, and a miss hit here will give him a chance. Galzarian stepping to the middle. Then a good recovery by Sohos, and then the next shot stopped by Min. Whoa. Sane was denied, and the Mounds View fans giving Min a hand. He has been pretty well on his game. Now Smith breaks it up. Smith down deep toward the corner, gets across away, and just a little high for Sane there. Mustangs looking to counter as they come up the left side for Paulin. Bothered there by Gallinson, who took it away, but re-intercepted by the Mustangs. Way across now to Colin Frank, and he couldn't quite control it. It's going to bounce all the way through and a throw-in. So look at that opportunity. The first shot denied, then the follow-up, Sane, a rocket. He timed it perfect, but maybe got it a little bit into the middle of the net more than he would have liked there, but Min had to be ready.
And he's been doing a great job in the net. Ooh, nice move here.
Colin Frank now gets the cross away, lifted high in the air. Gallinson heading it, but then a follow-up, and that one will sail up and over the net. I'm sure he's glad they're dominating, but at the same time, I don't know if Welshons probably would, like to get involved in the play a little bit more here. You don't want to get your first shot that you see be a real tough one that
Right.
beats you.
Yeah, you want to get into the game.
Smith knocking it ahead. Galzarian gets it to Weah. And Weah stepping to the middle, has some space, but then knocked off it. Here comes Galzarian, a follow-up, and Min, a diving save. It's a corner upcoming for Wayzata. Galzarian keeping that one low on the ground. And Min just knocking it away. Williams again out to take the corner, and a nice pat on the back there for Min, who's been sprawling and running around and
Wayzata corner kick
doing a solid job out here.
Eric Williams.
So Williams lining things up here, looking for Kelly. The header is knocked down. Rebound try knocked down. Galzarian trying to jam it in. It pinballs around. It'll be a goal kick here for Mounds View. Out to midfield. Body stepping up with the header. Gets it to Galzarian. And now ahead to Colin Frank. Nice ball into the middle here. Konzak on the move for the Mustangs. Konzak drops the pass off. Chance here, and Welshons comes out, and then Gallinson back to clear it. As Welshons mostly snuffed that shot by Paulin. It was still rolling toward the net a little bit, and Gallinson came to clear it away.
See right here, the ball comes loose, and then keeper just makes contact and then clear it out. So Mustangs putting some pressure on of their own.
So we talked about is that you get to the point where you've been kind of dominated, but it just takes one and you're back even, and that's almost what we've seen. Almost what we saw there, I should say. So a corner kick here for the Mustangs as Limborg will line it up. A little over a minute to play in this first half. Comes low with it, and that one knocked away by Body, but still Mustangs possessing, but got a little impatient there, and that one goes way wide. Welshans will have it for a goal kick here for the Trojans. Maple Grove Prior Lake to follow here on this field and on CCX Sports as well. Knocked back out of there and then headed out toward midfield. Smith trying to get it to Weah, but Sohos gets there. High in the air, Gallinson a header. Now Limborg trying to bring it through. Ostapek will bang it out of there. And a strong header by Smith. Sohos lifting it way up in the air. Galzarian trying to get control and then hammered out of there by Sohos. And we got a foul against Moundsview. However, it's going to tick down to 0 here, and we will reach halftime here of tonight's AA quarterfinal. The top seed Wayzata looking like a #1 seed, although they have just one that's gotten in to the net so far. Our score at halftime is Wayzata 1, Moundsview nothing. First half highlights and then our second half of soccer coming your way next on CCX. Welcome back here to St. Cloud State University. The fishing pretty good over there in the Mississippi. The guy in the red anyway was hauling them in earlier. As one of the, you can't count on too many more beautiful fall evenings like this. We are at State AA soccer here at St. Cloud State. It is Wayzata, the top seed, leading Moundsview 1-0. First half highlights: Trojans went on the attack early. Great save by Min as he robbed Patrick Weah on the header in close there. And then it is Wagner hustling after it and just putting a shot wide as they brought some pretty relentless pressure in the first half. Then it is a Gallinson sending it across. Wagner the header, and Galzarian is there. And a quick one-touch knocks it home. And a 1-0 lead for the Trojans. That one came in the 11th minute. Then it is Wagner hard up the left side here. Gets the cross away, and Weah has it just yanked off his foot there by the keeper, Min, who was busy and aggressive and good in the first half. Galzarian shot knocked down, follow up by Stuart Sane, and there's Min with another big save. He has done a great job to keep his team in this one. Great opportunity here for Moundsview. Really their only real good one of the night. Welshon sliding out to meet Elijah Paulin, and then Gallinson clearing it as you see the Trojans leading it by a score of 1-0 in this first half.
And looking at the numbers in the first half for Moundsview: 4 shots, 1 on goal, 5 fouls, and 2 corners. On the other side, Wayzata with 14 shots, 8 on goal, 5 fouls, 4 corners, but only 1 goal.
So we will come back with our second half of soccer here. Wayzata, a good first half. They would like to have more goals than they do, but they lead it 1-0 here at halftime. You're watching the high school state boys soccer tournament on CCX Sports.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Welcome back here to St. Cloud State as the team's back on the field for half number 2 here. Wayzata leading Moundsview 1-0 in our first quarterfinal game here in the State AA Boys Tournament. Maple Grove Prior Lake taking the field after this one, and we are underway in half number 2 as the Mustangs possess it first. Gallinson will let it go through as Welshans calls him off there. Danny Welshans didn't see a lot of work in that first half. Had to make one nice save late as he came out to smother a shot.
Yep, that was a 1 shot on goal.
Williams for Galzarian dropping it back. Sane Bangs it around, and now Weah coming up with it. His shot hits traffic in front. And Sane getting control. Pass to the outside, broken up by Von Gray. Von Gray able to turn with that one, and then broken up at a foul call against Williams. Williams thought he had a clean. I'm not so sure it wasn't on Wagner instead, who might have made contact with him before they tried to stop the ball there. Ahead for Williams in the middle of the field. Got a little bit too much of that one though, and coming back the other way is Sohos as he drops it over to Zamo. Von Gray bothered there by Botti. It'll be a throw here for Mounds View. Already they're doing better, possessing early in the second half than what they were able to do in the beginning of the first.
They must have had a discussion at the half.
Johnny Sohos will throw this one in here for the Mustangs. Gallinson got to it first. Boy, Gallinson wins an awful lot of balls in the air on plays like that. As we talked about earlier games, he's strong and good height and can jump a little bit too, and he wins a lot of those balls. Here's an opportunity now. Cross there. Frink didn't get much of it. Now drop back and served in there. Body with the header, and then a follow-up try. Mustangs, though, still dangerous here. Konzak was wrapped up a little bit, and now we get a foul call against Mounds View, and he's complaining, and I think he had maybe a little bit of a case there as the arm got wrapped around him a little bit, and then he retaliated. But so many times it's the second guy they see.
Isn't that always the case?
So a free kick here for Drew Gallinson for Wayzata. Trojans trying to get back into that state title game for the second year, and it would be the third time in 4 years if they were able to do so. They were second place up here at St. Cloud in 2014, then the new Viking Stadium, US Bank Stadium downtown, the site last year when they lost to Stillwater in the final. And this year the Ponies are the number 2 seed behind Wayzata for the tournament, and both teams definitely title threats again here. This one will roll back, and Welshons stops it here for the Trojans.
Yeah, looking at the bracket, you almost semi-expect Wayzata and Stillwater to make it through to the finals, being in opposing brackets.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a big surprise, but at the same time, boy, a lot of these tournaments, you look at some of the past years, and it doesn't go by the seeding all that often.
I was going to say, it's very unusual to have a repeat of the same teams in the championship match.
And the favorites don't always make it through. Let's face it, a game like this is a pretty good example of that first half. Wayzata really dominated, but yet the score is 1-0, so their Mustangs came close to tying it up late. Here's Galzarian dropping the pass back. Weah stepping into the middle. Weah fires a shot and he scores. Trojans make it 2-0. Weah got enough space. Right as he got to the corner of the box, I was thinking he's going to let this one rip pretty soon, and they better be ready. And he got just enough room and just struck it perfect, and Min had no chance. So Weah making it a 2-0 game. In the 45th minute, that will be his 18th goal of the season, and it was a beauty. He had a very near miss on that header early on, played, generated some chances, and again, like I talked about for Wayzata, I don't think they needed to really change much from half. Oh, and here's an opportunity the other way now. Shot and a goal! Answering is Elijah Paulin, as Wayzata had a little bit of a breakdown, and Paulin able to capitalize and convert. And it's now a 2-1 score. You see there, the clearing attempt, he just smothered it and then fooled Welshons by going low with the left foot. He's the only guy there against 4, but because of how he was able to block that clearing attempt, he had some space to do something with it, and that's a huge goal for the Mustangs as they get right back into it, and it was only 16 seconds after Weah's goal. Paulin getting his 10th of the season, so Mounds View on the board. They needed that one, and boy, it came very quickly after the Wayzata goal. Here I was just talking about how well Wayzata was playing.
It's the kiss of death. But also it's back to what we were talking about the first half. When you're up by 1 goal, and you just kind of let the other team hang around, that can come back to bite you.
Scoring, Paulin unassisted at the 4:42 mark of the second half.
So
again, unassisted.
Yeah, after he made the nice steal, I believe it was Kelly was trying to clear that ball, and he just timed it right to completely smother that clear, and it was clean. And we saw in the replay, no foul. Kelly went down, but it was because of the force of his leg meeting, the ball being blocked. Smith up with it. Mustangs get control back, so we're kind of right back to where we were again. It was a one-goal game. Each team tacking one on, and we'll see if that opens things up a little bit more. You sometimes see that in a game where teams break through and score, and it starts to lead to more chances or more finishes.
Well, certainly gives the Mustangs a big vote of confidence.
No question about that. Sohos up with it now for the Mustangs, looking to switch fields here as he swings it around to Von Gray. Cutting it to the middle, and then that pass didn't make it through. Williams, an interception. Nice ball ahead. Galzarian trying to get around the defender, and he does. Galzarian to the middle, shoots, and in the save. He was being hemmed in there. Wasn't a whole lot of room, and didn't get a ton on that shot, although it still, certainly was one that was capable of going in if Min wasn't in the right position.
Right, didn't have much on it, but it got to the goalkeeper.
Gallinson lifting this one high into the air, and it will bounce out of play. A throw here for Mounds View. Sane intercepting that one to Wagner. Wagner playing it to Galzarian, back towards Sane, but intercepted there. Konzak sending it ahead. And then a nice interception again by Walter Smith. Smith looking for Weah, and they just couldn't quite connect there.
Boy, that only missed by a couple of steps. That would have been a one-on-one for Patrick Weah.
Sane circles back. High into the air, Body with the header. Frink controlling it here now for Mounds View, Colin Frink. Drop it back now to Zamo and returning it over to Von Gray. Sane blocked that, but it'll come out to Colin Frink. That one deflects off a couple of people, and Welshons will smother it. Welshons booting it out of there for the Trojans. Already had 2 goals in the second half, one for each team, coming 16 seconds apart after it was 1-0 Wayzata at halftime. So 2-1 lead for Wayzata here. Williams looking for some space to do something with that one. Run off it by Von Gray. And then Body sends it long. And it'll be Min coming out to grab it up here for the Mustangs. Overrun by both players there, and then controlled by DeMay. Mounds View, good passing team, and here's an opportunity, a shot, and Welshons has to punch it out on Ethan Von Gray's rip there. That one was targeted nicely toward high in the top corner, and Welshons just had to fight it off.
Yeah, when you're in that position, you can't guess if it's going to go outside or not. You just have to punch it out, and also hustle to go back over there to keep the ball from being a corner.
Another look at this strike here, and yeah, it was hard to tell. There's very much a possibility that it was going to go wide, but like you said, you can't just guess and hope that.
Right. You don't want to go back to the coach after the game and say, well, I kind of guessed wrong.
Yeah. Konzak lofting it in. And guess who? Gallinson getting the first touch on that one. Then Gallinson bangs it way out of there. And that one missed.
He's not too happy. He did not want to do that.
No, knocked out a play there by Daniel Frink. So a throw for Wayzata. He wasn't really pressured. He had time, but just did not hit the ball the way he wanted to there.
Yeah, that's you're giving up possession in your own zone. But he was not happy.
Elzarian trying to get control. Weah was there as well, and then jabbed away. And hammered long here. Kelly getting back to it here for Wayzata. Playing it up, Weah hustling back to try and get to it. It will be a throw here for the Trojans. Now controlled here by Eric Williams. Williams, a shot, and he scores.
Wow.
Whoa, nice hit there by Eric Williams as he finds the net. He's generally been a guy who sets people up, especially with corners. 4 goals, 14 assists coming in. And that time I think he surprised Min a little bit with the placement of that shot. It was perfect.
Look at this. Up in the corner. Min just cannot get up there and do anything about it as that goes in the corner of the net.
So Eric Williams restores the lead to 2 goals now for Wayzata with a 3-1 advantage. Second goal of the half for the Trojans, and Mounds had one, as we said, in between there. So make it a 3-1 score. Min has played very well, and both Min and Welshons on the couple of these last goals. It's a big net to cover, and if it's put in the right spot, it's going to be very difficult to get there, and that's what we saw there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the philosophies of shooting. Shoot where the goalkeeper can't get to it, and that was just a beautiful shot from about 20 yards out. Found that little space in the corner.
And I think he kind of surprised him a little bit. I mean, as the play was developing, it was looking more like a passing situation, and all of a sudden he just hit it perfect. Mustangs looking to go again here. Von Gray had a good shot a moment ago. Now he drops it back to Konzak. He's done a pretty good job on him. Konzak, not that he hasn't done some things out there, but he's not been as noticeable as it maybe thought he might be. Von Gray will swing it around left side now to Limborg. He and Body do battle. Limborg trying to drag it past. Body gets control. Up the line it comes, and Wagner back to meet it. And then driven up that sideline. And we will get a foul call against Elzarian, I believe. Yeah, he got the arm up a little bit. More than a little bit, in fact.
A little blatant.
Konzak pressured by Williams, knocked away. Weah then pushes it forward, and we'll get a foul call here. Both guys end up shaken up on that collision. As Weah and I believe it's Sohos. We'll get a look right here, and just a hard collision. It may not be a foul. They just both got injured on the play.
Yeah, Weah was off to the races and ran into the Mustang. Looks like Weah's. Let's see it again.
There's one guy, the defender, was coming toward the ball, and then Weah pushed the ball ahead and was, racing after it. Right. It was just a hard collision.
Yeah, it was typical Weah. He was going to turn and take off with the ball.
Looks like it was, in fact, a foul called on Sohos there. So it will be a free kick. It looks like Sohos is coming off. Weah is staying in.
He's holding his hip. Probably. Well, they'll be looking at him on the far sideline, and we'll keep an eye on number 7, see if he comes in.
Here's Williams chipping it to the front. The header by Gallinson and saved by Min. They got the setup they wanted there. Just not able to place it in a corner, but still pretty accurate header considering he wasn't exactly, right on the net there. Weah blocks that clearing attempt. Second one lofted much higher, and the strong header there. And here come the Mustangs with Limborg. Limborg on the move. Plays it to the outside. Von Gray. And pinballs around, and then Botti comes up with it for Wayzata. Wagner looking to turn and go, but run off it by Limborg.
Boy, Limborg's got his feet into a lot of players this match. Quite a few takeaways.
Yeah, he's got good speed too. Battle for it, and Weah will be called for the foul as he knocked Zamo down, and Zamo now a little shaken up. Telling him he's all right, but holding that left hip as he gets up. You see another look right there, and down he goes.
Yeah, just lands hard on his hip.
So the free kick here for George DeMay for Moundsview. They've got some work to do, trailing it now by 2 goals. They scored their first goal immediately after Wayzata had scored to make it 2-0. But then the Trojans added another one on that goal by Eric Williams, so they're pretty much back in command here, but still plenty of time to go, about 25.5 minutes as Welshons get set to take the goal kick, and the Trojans making a couple of changes here as Bader and Fisher will come back into the lineup for Wayzata. They each got a few minutes there in that first half. Knocked away from Paulin. Now battle for it here as Wagner lost that battle to Daniel Frink. Knocked away though by Sane, and here's Wagner trying to send it ahead, but that one broken up. And it will get out of play. A throw here for Wayzata. Wagner playing it to the outside toward Bader, but then taken by Moundsview and hammered out of play by Zamo. Gallinson, long throw in there, and it goes off of Bader. It will be a goal kick here for the Mustangs, as Jason Min will boot it out of there here for Moundsview. Pops up in the air, Bader getting it to Wagner. Williams, nice spin move there. Williams is playing with some confidence now, especially after scoring that goal. Sane to Weah. Weah trying to go back for Sane. And it'll roll all the way through. Wagner comes up with it. Wagner pushing it to the outside, gets a cross away. Sent right back out of there, and it will go out of play. A throw for Wayzata. Drew Gallinson stepping up to take the throw in here for the Trojans.
Oh, he does such a good job on those throw-ins. Not only high and deep, but also right on target.
Be another throw coming here for... No, maybe not. Maybe going to be a Moundsview's throw.
Paulin with it.
Number 12, Bijan Asadi.
Bijan Asadi will come in. So a throw here for Daniel Frink. DeMay Drops the pass back off now to Frink. And jabbed out. It'll be a throw for the Mustangs. Been a good pace to this game. Sometimes you get games where it, kind of feels like not much is happening, or things are dragging, or one team's trying to slow it down or whatever. Not had that feeling in this one.
No, nobody's sitting back on their heels in this match.
Konzak getting control for the Mustangs. Nice left-footed cross, but over the top. Nobody home to get that one, and now Bader trapping it down, plays it to Sane.
He's going to try and get it up to Wea. He does.
Wea meeting it and then stepping around the defender here.
He just bowls. He just bowls people over. Just amazing.
Playing it to the outside here. Wea tracking it down. He'll drop it back. Here comes Williams. Williams gets a return pass.
Oh.
And now turns and puts it out front. It's going to roll all the way through. You kind of sense that Williams didn't have that much confidence in his left foot. He could have taken a left-footed shot a couple times there.
He had a good opening and didn't take it.
Really a nice return pass to him there. It just kind of a little give and go that just froze the defense. Now Konzak has a little space to work with here. Chip to the front. Oh, Gallinson. Welshon's called him off, and Gallinson let that ball go, and it almost cost them.
That was a mistake on the defense that didn't cost them anything, as you said.
Yeah, it certainly looked like from the way that Gallinson reacted that Welshon's, called keeper.
Yep.
And meanwhile, there was another Moundsview player within range to, keep it from getting there, and they almost said, boy, we regret that one. Be a free kick here for Ostapek as we tick down close to the halfway mark of the second half. 3-1 Wayzata, number 1 seed for the tournament. Leading unseeded Moundsview. Here's Wea with a chance, but just knocked away by DeMay. Now Von Gray sending it ahead, but broken up there by Ostapek. And battle for it there. Wagner. Oh, play on.
Foul called, advantage.
Sane looking ahead there, but that one broken up by DeMay. And now Sane. Looking left side. They let it go through, and it will be out of play. Goal kick here for Moundsview as both teams, one or the other, subbing on pretty much most of these dead balls.
Checking for Moundsview, number 7, Johnny Sohos.
Back out to the outside here, Von Gray. Coming up to meet it is Asadi. Now Smith bangs it back the other way for Wayzata. Wea trying to get there as he does battle with Sohos.
And that time Sohos got the better of that interplay.
Smith gets up, knocked down, and now controlled by Konzak for Moundsview. Konzak slipping the pass over to Frink. Colin Frink, that is. Now Konzak gets it back, and here's Frink. They're laying off him a little bit in that spot on the field. They're not going to be too worried about it. Just get back and defend behind it. Limborg chipping it to the front. Kelly knocked it away. It comes right back to Limborg. And then he tried to send it over right side and does. Wea pressuring it. Bader then gets it, and Wea to Sane. Sane looking for Bader up that left side, and is able to connect with him. Puts it to Galzarian. Galzarian turning, spins away from the defender, trying to push it out front and get a shot. But things got a little bit congested there, and they knocked it away.
Yeah, very congested. Mustangs had 5 defenders back there.
Von Gray trapping it down. Now the pass coming up the left side toward Limborg and then Von Gray. He will leave it for Konzak. Konzak, a nice move. Sends a high cross, and that one gets past everyone. It will be a goal kick for Wayzata.
Checking in for Wayzata, number 9, Evan McGugan.
McGugan reporting back into the Wayzata lineup here as we tick under 17 minutes to play here in this second half, and a 3-1 lead for the Trojans, trying to win their 18th game of the year. They came into the tournament 17-0-2. Tied Minnetonka, tied Edina. Mustangs clearing it up the line, but Ostapek there to break it up. Galzarian putting some pressure on. They'll flick it back to the keeper, Min.
Probably a smart move that at that point, flick it back to the keeper rather than have Weah getting a foot on that ball.
Limborg controlling it here for Wayzata. Sane stepping up to pressure him a little bit. Walter Smith with the header. Now Sane playing it up the line, but didn't hit it exactly how he wanted to do. Galzarian there, throw for the Mustangs. Gallinson to Smith. Now trying to go to Fisher, but taken by Konzak. Von Gray dropping it back to Konzak. Crosses it here, but headed out of danger. And then Sane flicking it to the outside. Back to the outside and then headed out of there. Limborg trying to control it. Sane sending it long, and we had a foul call there against Mounds View as Sane made that pass. Collision with Limborg, and Limborg he might be cramping up a little bit maybe, the way he grabbed his toes there and tried to pull back on it. That would have been what it seemed to indicate.
Trainer coming out to take a look at the player. Yeah, you're right. I think it's been muscles are tightening up in the chill. Right, oh yeah, a little awkward step.
Number 8, Eric Williams, and number 10, Patrick Weah. Checking for Mounds View, number 20,
Yeah, and looking at the replay, it almost looked more like a twisted ankle, but just the way that he started to pull back on his foot there. Well, either way, it's looks like he probably will be all right, although there isn't that much time left now, right at 15 minutes.
Yeah, but you don't want to lose a guy like Limborg. He's been very active.
Yeah, he sure is. Just kind of Energizer Bunny out there.
Yeah, he is.
He's small
over.
and quick,
Right.
and he's just popping up everywhere for them.
It gets in there, gets those takeaways, winning the 50-50s.
You know, it's interesting because I think in a lot of ways Mounds View has looked pretty impressive tonight. Even though they are down 3-1, you can definitely see the skill on this team. But Wayzata has, had the better of it. They have very good skill themselves, and they've been able to put 3 of them away.
But as we anticipated at the Open, Mounds View is a much different team than what Wayzata faced in the first game of the season.
Galzarian doing battle
nice
there
take
with DeMay. And DeMay cleanly wins that ball. Here's Zamo. Weah pressuring him, and now Sane comes up with it. Here's Weah. Giving it to Galzarian, tried to battle through the defender there. And the Mustangs able to come up with it. Frink, nice ball there ahead to Konzak. He's going to drive this one with the left foot. He's been mostly content to pass and to send some nice crosses into the middle. That time decided he was going to let one fly, and it didn't didn't hit it the way he wanted to.
Yeah, it didn't connect, but I think it's the smart thing to do. Get some shots off. You know, start getting some activity going on the offensive side.
Galzarian lofting it high in the air. Min's going to come out, and he juggled it a little bit. Was he outside the box? He drops the ball.
Yeah,
and
it's a question of where. This thing is just outside. Here comes the referee. Alan Harkerader going to determine where it is. Marching off the 10 meters.
Yep. Here you see Min. He drops the ball right there, and then he's clearly outside the box. He sets it down, and then we had a grab.
So that's a call, the handball outside the box. Let's see if they go outside or try. It's almost impossible to go over the wall. Yeah, you have to go through it.
And perfect hit again by Williams as he drives it home calmly on the free kick there, and it is 4-1 Wayzata.
Or you can just pound the ball in there like he just did.
So Williams netting his second of the night. You look and you think the goal's fairly well protected by that wall, but he made it look easy there. Just stepped in and calmly nailed it. So a good night for one of the Trojans' captains there, Williams. Couple of goals. Been kind of an unsung hero on this team all year, I think, and good to see him getting rewarded with a couple of goals here this evening. So a free kick here for Wayzata as they have started to pull away here and look like they'll be heading indoors to US Bank Stadium for a Monday morning date with either Prior Lake or Maple Grove. Here comes Galzarian stepping to the middle. Jabbed away there at the last second as they try to get it to Williams. I think they would like to maybe set him up for his third of the night.
Absolutely. Go for the hat trick.
Body dropping it to McGugan, and it got away from Williams there. Smith sending it outside. Weah hustling after it there. And he'll get to it. Weah trying to beat the defender, but it got away from him. It will be a goal kick here for Mounds View. Gallinson had it get off the side of his foot. Limborg there for the Mustangs. Gets a return pass, so he's back out there after going out a few minutes ago. Crossing it here, but well read by the defense. Williams turning and sends it upfield, looking for Galzarian. Just jabbed away from him by Daniel Frink, and now the Mustangs getting the air attack going. Sohos. Played it to the outside. Ostapek gets there first. Looking up the line, trying to go to Weah. Instead, it's out of play, and we'll get a throw for Mounds View. Return pass now, and it's actually Colin Frink stepping up to take it. Frink playing it to the outside. Von Gray lining it up for a cross here, and there's Gallinson with the header, but they get it right back. Konzak. Gallinson, another header for Wayzata. Weah leaving it for Sane. Sane back for Weah. Speeding up the left side, Galzarian then steps in to get it. He fires and just missed up high, and a goal kick here for the the Mustangs.
So far, Trojans have 22 shots, 13 on goal. So that one goes over the crossbar.
It's kind of a nice mix because Galzarian, seems to be a left-footed player, and then mixing in with a couple of guys who are Right is a nice interchange. I can see why this team's undefeated. They've got some pretty good players across the board.
Yeah, that's the big thing. It's not just one or two really, really good players. The entire team has a lot of talent. It likes to work together really well.
Limborg trapping it down here for the Mustangs. Jab loose there and then cleared out of play by Mounds View. He will get a throw for Wayzata. Jack Sonstegard in there now for the Trojans 21. Throw in to be taken by Botti here.
Number 4, Ethan
Fisher will come back in.
Number 19, Benjamin Steele.
Trojans controlling it here. Williams. And they try to return it out to him a little too far. Knocked loose, and we'll get a throw for Mounds View. Daniel Frink throwing it in. Smith steps up and drills it high in the air, trying to get it to Ludikover there for Wayzata, who's in there, number 12. Also Daniel Palomarchuk. And Palomarchuk steals that ball and then lost it back here as the Mustangs work it upfield. Ostapek's pass knocked down. Now it comes back out. Benjamin Stile sending one. And Welshons calmly waits for it alongside his net and catches it here. 4-1 Trojans our score. Again, they'll be headed to US Bank Stadium for the semifinals Monday morning, bright and early at 8.
Looks like Wayzata is content to keep their starters on the bench for at least for a while. I mean, they are in command on the scoreboard, so why risk the injury and get their other players the opportunity to play.
Nice spin by Konzak there. And then the pass broken up by Palomarchuk. The other thing too is about, it's a deep, ooh, there's a hard knockdown there, and they'll stop the clock. This might be a card coming out here for Mounds View, and it is going to be a card on George DeMay there. So a hard fall to the turf by Palomarchuk right here. And that's a pretty good example of why you maybe do want to get your starters out too. I mean,
yes, exactly. You have a commanding lead. Why take the chance?
That free kick was taken before it was supposed to be in the official talking, and now bringing subs in. Ethan Quee coming into the lineup here for Wayzata. Also Ben Ludke. We'll get a goal kick here for Mounds View.
18, Ben Ludke.
Quee intercepting it. Ludikover carrying it, giving it on the outside here, or keeping it, I should say, and then gets a return now from Quee. Nice cross and a chance in front, and that one just denied at the last moment. It'll be a goal kick. I was saying earlier too, Sig, we talked about getting the subs in too. A deep program. It's a huge school at Wayzata. Soccer is enormous in the Plymouth area too. So
yep,
you're getting some pretty quality guys that maybe don't see a lot of varsity time or just yet, but they're still pretty good players on their bench.
Yeah, and there's so many good feeder programs up in the northwest suburbs around Maple Grove and Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, obviously over in Wayzata and Plymouth, Maple Grove.
Sonstegard with the takeaway. But the Mustangs get it right back. Style getting into the middle. Now the next pass connects as well. And Konzak's pass then knocked down. Ludikover getting it ahead. Nice little spin to the outside by Palamarchuk. Now the Trojans moving it up the field nicely, but not for long. Konzak broke it up, Konzak with it now. Style broke it up initially. Under 5 minutes to play here in the second half. Wayzata in control, leading at 4-1. It was 1-0 Trojans at the half after they dominated the first half and had some near misses and some good saves by the keeper Min for Moundsview, and then kind of breaking it open here in the second half after Moundsview scored to pull within 2-1. Trojans have gotten the next couple. Back to Limborg. Back and forth it goes. Style. Now Konzak controlling here for the Mustangs.
Trying to set up a shot. Now goes to the outside. I think he had a shot there.
I was thinking the same. So Sohos might have been a little too unselfish there. I think he had room to let that one rip and then played it to the outside, and they weren't quite on the same page. They do ultimately get a corner kick out of it, though.
Yeah, maybe he felt he didn't have a good channel to the goal area. But.
So here's the corner kick for the Mustangs. Bounces around in front. Here's a shot, and Welshans is right there to make the grab on the Daniel Frink attempt. Palamarchuk coming back to meet it. Play to the outside. Good hustle by Moundsview's Von Gray to get to that one. Now Konzak stepping away from the defender, trying to anyway, and they get in a little physical battle there. Guys haven't stopped playing, even though it's a 4-1 game, that's for sure. We got a good look at it there. It is battling the whole way, both sides.
But nobody's backing off at all. Limburg sends it way up in the air. Wilson's right there to bring it in.
Weaves his way back into the middle, and then we'll punt it on out of there. Palamarchuk getting control. Playing it to the outside for Quee, and he is run off that one by Von Gray. And Quee gets back to it. Nice little pass to teammate Ludikover there. Into the middle and just jabbed away. Now the follow-up, Palamarchuk. Boy, he had an angle to shoot, it looked like, but wasn't quite ready. Quee. Now that one knocked down.
That was deflected by the defense. Until Konzak try to get control now. Here comes Wayzata again.
Max Smart with it way out in the corner there, and here's a nice cross, and then the header goes wide. And it will be a goal kick here for Moundsview as we approach a minute and a half remaining. Wayzata is going to go back to the semifinals for the third time in 4 years. You know, they seem to have kind of taken a next step here in these recent years too. They've always been pretty good, but they've been more consistently, you know, a top 10 team and reaching the state tournament and doing something when they get there too.
Right. And then not getting knocked out when they shouldn't get knocked out.
Right.
I mean, we go back to last year into the sections when we had the number 1, 2, and 3 teams losing in the first round. You never know. Good look there at head coach Duenas for Wayzata. There's a long shot, hits the side of the net.
So we're under a minute to play here. And Wayzata is going to advance and win their 18th contest of the year. A couple of goals for Eric Williams, Patrick Weah, and Sadra Galzarian also netting goals here for the Trojans as they impressed here tonight. Didn't panic when Mounds View caught up to within 2-1 either after that quick goals in succession there, one for each team.
I think if anything, that's just kind of motivated them.
Offside call here as Paul Marchek wanted to get a shot, and that's gonna
do it.
pretty much do it here as we will tick down toward zeros here on the clock. And so Wayzata with the victory here. A nice effort, dominated the first half, only had one goal to show for it, but they come out and put 3 more on the board in half number 2 to advance to the semifinals. We hope you've enjoyed the action here tonight from St. Cloud State University, and watch for the Maple Grove Prior Lake quarterfinal game as well on CCX Sports. Your final score on this one, Wayzata 4 and Mounds View 1. For Sig Ligry and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from St. Cloud.